Okay. Um, so on our last set of interviews, we talked about how Big Un was doing an interview over Vlad, and he talked about the Source Awards and stuff like that. Since our last interview, another segment went up where he talked about the Soul Train Awards and the confrontation of the Bad Boy crew and the Death Row crew. And you told the story many times. His story was quite different in the sense that number one, he had told C Gutter to if anything were to happen, to shoot Suge first. Don't shoot anybody else. Shoot Suge. But also that when everything was going down, that Don Cornelius came out there and said, "I don't care whose limo you get in, just get in the limo and you guys go." So he said it without saying it that they didn't run at that event. Actually, no, he said they didn't run because he talked about how they heard Tupac and Suge on the radio right afterwards saying that they got run out of L.A., but that they really had a set schedule and a set flight, but that they didn't run.
Yeah. Well, like I always said, Biggie didn't run. I've been always the first one that said Biggie stood right there and was looking at Pac like, why are you tripping? He had to look like, what's going on? But and I always jokingly said that Sugar always said, yeah, nigga didn't run because he's too fat to run. Now, Biggie was the only big fat motherfucker out there that I saw other than myself. And I wasn't as fat as I am now back then in 95, 96. But Big Al was a big dude back then. He was bigger than, he done lost some weight, probably had a surgery or something. But he was big, a lot bigger, and I don't remember seeing another big fat motherfucker there, especially standing next to Biggie, because I would have remembered that. As far as this, if he was there or in the area telling C Gutter to shoot Suge, okay, who knows? Was Pac was telling me to shoot them. Well, not Biggie, he was telling me to shoot the guy that was kind of brazen the gun. But people always talk about how C Gutter was this tough dude and had this gun. I bet that nigga ain't never raised that gun. He never raised that gun and pointed it at nobody. He kept it to the ground, like I kept telling him he better do. He never, ever raised that gun. And he did take off and run with another guy that I still to this day believe was Keefy. Everybody said it wasn't. I can't argue it. I just said it was two black motherfuckers with a gun. One of them had a gun and took off and ran. As far as them jumping in a limousine and stuff that wasn't theirs and all of that, just jumping anybody, he said there was other people's limousines. That ain't scary motherfuckers. No, nigga, I'm gonna jump in the limousine where my shit is in that car. My other gun, that's where we generally left guns when we couldn't take guns in the location. Or my weed or whatever. It's in that car. I'm going in that car. Guy Cornelius, he had a dude named Big Reg too. That was the other fat nigga that was there. Big Reg was there. And his name was Reggie. And he was a big dude. He was at the door with Don Cornelius, and all they were trying to do was like, Pop, come on, man, come on, get in here. He ain't got in there, no Muslims was in the middle. They were doing a lot of, brothers, and all of that. But Don Cornelius stayed at the door and was just like, come on, Suge, y'all come in here, come on. I'm about to present the award. Now, I also heard they said it was towards the end of the Soul Train. It wasn't at the end of the Soul Train. It was right at the beginning because they opened. Now, not understanding that they have somewhere else to go is probably the reason that Don Cornelius made the decision to have Biggie and them open the show because the plan was Biggie to open the show and Pac close the show. Suge wanted it the other way around. Suge wanted to open the show because that's where you get the bigger ratings in his mind or back then. And so he wanted to open the show, be the opening act. And then when Don told him he was going to let Biggie do it, that's when he told him, because y'all got to remember, All Eyes on Me just came out only a month or two. Biggie was out working, and I'll be honest, his remixes were doing great. I'm not a Ready to Die major fan like all of y'all are, because y'all don't know. Most of the songs, like One More Chance and all that, were done as singles. They weren't even on the album. So I'm saying all that to say, but they were hot at the time. Tupac, won that year for Me Against the World. But Don Cornelius had pretty much told Suge, man, just come. Make sure y'all come, even though you're not gonna do the show now. Make sure y'all come because you're gonna be happy. The young man gonna be happy. He didn't tell him that he was gonna win Me Against the World for Best Rap Album of the Year, which everybody wanted. He told him that he would be happy, a happy man. And so Suge's plan was, okay, give me the extra tickets. And they always say that they saw all the bloods inside the auditorium. I played double agent that day, y'all. They didn't get in. It was at the beginning. Tupac did not get in there with all those bloods with those P-Funk shirts, those sweaters on. They wouldn't let him in because I knew the head of security, a guy that grew up in the neighborhood from his name, what? Keith Davis. Keith Davis was running the Shrine Auditorium at the time. I think he's a lieutenant or a captain now still with LAPD. But I called and gave Keith heads up. I'm like, Keith, let those niggas in. they gonna do something bad. And so he didn't let them in. And so everybody keeps saying they got in. I don't know, probably a few of them got in, but they didn't get in like they were supposed to. They went through the front, was gonna go through the front, and we went through the back. It was probably about the Outlaws, Danny Boy, Suge, me and Frank. That was it. So 5 or 6 of us, they better be motherfucking lucky that those niggas that was at the front door wasn't at the back door.